Welcome to Beyond Semiahmoo. Our first guest today is Michael Dowhaniuk, third-year outside attacker for the UBC men's volleyball team and studying civil engineering. He received Canada West and U Sports All-Rookie Team in his rookie season and was also second-team All-Star for Canada West in both his first and second year. Also, he spent 2 years as captain of the junior national team and won silver and bronze at Norseca Championships. Michael also backstopped Semiahmoo to back-to-back provincial championships in 2016 and 2017 and being named MVP of both provincials. Welcome, Michael, and thank you for doing this.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Chio.
Oh, hey, no worries. So how are you doing right now with COVID and all? I know with your season being canceled, how do you keep yourself busy?
Yeah, it was pretty bummed news to find out that our season was canceled, but it was kind of expected, and luckily we're able to get some scrimmages in with some local schools and keep some competition going, even though we're not working towards a U Sports championship or anything. We're still getting some play in, and then just been hanging out with a couple of my roommates, playing a lot of rock band, doing some school, trying to keep busy.
Oh yeah. And with you, of course, you're still studying school, right? So that's online right now?
Yeah, all online, all classes.
How's that been?
It's different for sure. I did take one course online during the summer, so I got a little feel for how school was going to be like this year. But yeah, it's just something that kind of had to get used to. And the first month of online school was weird, but now I'm kind of starting to get into routine.
Okay, awesome. So I know this year having no volleyball, it's been a challenge, right? But for the past 2 seasons, you did play volleyball at UBC, and how has that been?
It's been amazing. So I'll kind of outline kind of what playing volleyball or playing any sport at school entails, and it's just practicing every day, lifting 2 to 3 times a week, depending whether you're in season or off season. And playing every single weekend. And then, so that usually means leaving on the Thursday and having to miss some classes if you have them late on Thursday, or like all of them on Friday. And luckily, I haven't had to take any road exams yet. I've usually got them pushed to another date, but some of the guys on the team have had to do that. And then the volleyball is just, like, we're in the Canada West League, which is arguably the best conference for volleyball right now. And it's just been amazing. Great competition, great teammates to compete with, and just love every second of it.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you compare high school volleyball to university volleyball, what would be the biggest difference for you?
Just the amount of talent in university ball, and every guy like wanting to be there and wanting to get better and in the future compete on the national team and professionally. So having that competition in every single game and making it so you have to work so hard to win a game, that's probably the biggest difference between university and high school, and also just the amount that you're playing too.
For sure. So I know that you also played in Team Canada was it a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was that like? I know for a lot of kids growing up, playing for their national team is a dream, right? So how has that experience been for you, especially playing in a different country?
Yeah. So the first game that I played, we were in Cuba, and we were like in this big stadium and everything. We had a bus take us to the game, chill in the locker room and all that. And then we get ushered onto the court and are lined up, people holding the national flag in front of us, and national anthem is playing. And you just feel so much pride in that moment, just knowing that you're about to represent your country in your first international game. And that's just like an unreal feeling. And doing it with, like, I had 2 of my teammates from UBC there as well. And having those guys with you, like, it was just an unbelievable feeling. And, it's kind of makes me speechless to talk about it, just because you kind of got to experience it.
For sure. Like, that will be something that, like, I think a lot of kids strive for, right? And I think you having experienced it, you can now bring that experience moving forward, right? So what are your
Exactly.
goals after university then?
Definitely national team, being on the senior team, and then playing professionally overseas. So we don't have a professional team in North America, unfortunately. So that'll have to happen in Europe or I don't know, South America or elsewhere. But that is definitely the goal.
Awesome. So we're gonna bring it back to Semiahmoo. I know going back a couple years ago now. So what sports did you play at Semiahmoo that you played from grade 8 to 12?
Okay.
So volleyball's one, of
Track,
course, right?
yeah, volleyball, track. I did cross country for a year. Basketball, that was a big one. I did soccer in my senior years. Did ultimate. Um, gosh,
You also were pro rugby, right? I think.
part of rugby for a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah, just a lot to
Now
keep
this is a
track of.
funny story actually
But
that I want to bring up. So you did bring up ultimate, and I think
yes.
I was your coach that year.
Oh yes.
So there was a game we played. I think it was in Burnaby. We actually got bused there, which is actually the funny part. We never get bused anywhere, right?
Oh
And we
no.
got bused in Burnaby, and we were playing against Mosscroft. It was at I believe it was Burnaby Lake, and I remember the coach over there is actually Danny Proby. She's a national Team Canada player herself, and
Oh
she was the
wow.
coach of Mosscroft. Yeah, and you got on, and I remember you were guarding someone, and all of a sudden that person, he they threw it down the field, and you turn around, you sprint as fast as you can, and the disc was still up in the air. This is a good like maybe 30 meters away from where the person threw it, and you were able to catch it still. And I remember Danny Proby came up to me and she was like, that's not fair. Take him off. And I remember that moment, and that was the moment that I was like, wow, like I could see the athleticism in you, and I was like, who was this person? Why didn't he play earlier, right? So that was something that I fondly remember about you playing ultimate, and of course other sports. I've seen you play other sports as well, but that's
Yeah.
one moment that kind of stuck with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I really remember that moment. I remember playing Ultimate and me and Adam Page just being the Twin Towers.
Oh, I remember that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were. I think you two were just at the end zone. I just remember whoever was like, just throw to them, just throw to them. They'll get it.
Just put it up in the air.
Yeah.
We're both tall. We both
Yeah.
can jump.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So what was your what do you remember about playing volleyball at Semi? So what do you miss most about that experience?
Yeah. So played in every single year at Semi. Played on the senior team when I was in grade 10 when we didn't have any seniors. And just seeing like the evolution of our team, like in my grade 10 year, we did not make provincials. We lost to Riverside, and my roommate was actually on that team. So he brings that up a lot that they beat us to get into provincials. But then in grade 11 and grade 12, just experiencing those provincial championships and like being with all the friends that I hang out with at high school and just experiencing that moment with them definitely was just such a cool feeling and made me have pride to go to Semi and represent our school and get such a cool accolade from that. So that's
Yeah.
definitely most fondest memory.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I remember I like the trips are also something that you probably look like forward to or remember a lot, right? Because I remember we went to the Kelowna. And I remember
Kelowna
we
was
drove up. Yeah, that was quite the trip. We had
yeah.
a fun crew that just wanted to have fun there. No, we
Oh
didn't get the
yeah.
results we wanted, but I remember you and there was Jared, there was Tyler, there was a bunch of those guys.
There was Braxton as well, and
Yeah.
I remember Braxton really wanted Dunkaroos after one of our games, like after we were done, and we were able to get them from the grocery store, and that was probably my strongest memory from Kelowna was just eating Dunkaroos with the guys after we lost.
I actually have a picture of that on my classroom wall, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
So now moving outside volleyball, what memories do you have of Semiahmoo, of playing another sport, or what like as a student, what do you cherish most about it?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The question is, so what do you cherish most as a student at Semiahmoo? This could be playing something else other than volleyball, or a memory that you have of being at Semi.
Yeah. I probably cherish my friends the most. Like I feel like our friend group during my year was bigger than usual. Like we had a lot of us together and I remember our lockers were in the kind of band hallway in front of the office there. And we just took over that hallway and all of us were friends. Like we had 300 in our grad class, maybe even close to 400.
Yeah.
And like at least half of us would hang out on a regular basis. And it was just such a cool feeling to have in high school. And I remember talking to other high school friends and stuff, and their friend groups are like 10 people. So to have that at Semi was just an amazing time. And it made me realize how lucky I was to be at Semi and experience that.
Yeah, because funny you bring that up because I remember it was your commencement, which you actually didn't go, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
was not able to attend.
Yeah, because I think you were at Team Canada training camp at the time.
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember that I was at commencement and there was a cutout head of yours
Yep.
in line where you would have been. I remember I forgot who was holding it, and I was looking. I'm like, Michael's not here. What's going on?
Yeah.
That was a funny moment
Yeah. And I remember getting all the pictures after with people just holding my cardboard cutout.
for sure.
Friend groups that I was a part of. So
Yeah. So I'm just gonna finish off with there are this year being COVID year. It's different for sure, especially in high school. A lot of students, especially grades, probably won't have the experience of playing a sport this year. But if you were to give one piece of advice to a young athlete today, a grade 9 or even a grade 10, about joining athletics or playing a sport, what would you give them?
probably the biggest advice is play every sport you can. Like I know I played, I think it was like 8 that I listed off or something like that. I definitely could have played more, and I wish I would have just to experience that because you're never going to experience those sports ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Just because once you do get older, you're going to have to pick one that you like the most and continue with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose volleyball, but play as many as you can and be a part of as many teams and form those connections with everybody else that plays those team sports. And it's just, you'll enjoy high school so much more.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one thing that I think hearing it from someone who's been through it, been through all the different sports, played a lot of different sports, and now play a sport at a high level. It's good
Yeah.
to hear from you for sure. So that is it for today. Thank you, Michael, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure, and I wish you the best of luck in terms of hopefully there is some volleyball season, hopefully starting next year again.
Hopefully.
Other than that, we're gonna end it off there for today. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you.